Hi, this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Wholesome Life. And we are on week 32, day 3 of our positive, peaceful affirmations that we are doing every day, Monday through Friday. We are following Dr. Susan Lawton's book, Positive Peaceful Growth Calendar. And if you love positive affirmations and you love music therapy, if you love essential oils and music therapy, this is just a beautiful, peaceful, hopeful book that I have so enjoyed going through with you. So thank you for hopping on and going through these affirmations with me. The affirmation for the week is, I am learning from my new adventures gently. So, we've talked a little bit about this in some of our past days because it's the same affirmation for the whole week. And we'll get on to the affirmation for the day in just a minute. But just being gentle with ourselves, realizing that we're not perfect, being gentle with others, realizing they're not perfect. Now, I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story that illustrates, two stories actually, that illustrate the concept to me of gentleness. And gentleness to me also obviously includes caring. When you're gentle with yourself, you care about yourself. And when you're gentle with others, you care about others. So let me tell you two stories. The first one I heard at Education Week at BYU. And they were saying, there was this one guy. And he was really good friends with this one girl. And they're at college. And one day, this girl tells the guy some things about her past of a very personal nature. And she says, hey, this is super personal. Please don't tell anyone. Now, the guy says that he won't tell anyone, but that's not what he does. He goes and he tells some other people, and the word gets back to the first girl. I'm going to call her Jill. Jill. I'll call the guy David. Okay, so David tells Jill's secrets to other people. And this is how the rest of the story plays out. So Jill could have, so David calls Jill, hey, let's get together, let's go do something. And Jill could have not taken his call and just kind of defriended him and just gone on about her life, just kind of dropped him as like a hot potato for the betrayal of the trust. Or Jill could have gone and pretended that nothing was wrong, that she didn't know what David had done and that everything was hunky-dory. Or she had a third option, and that was to kind of confront him and say, hey, David, I told you things because I thought we were really good friends. And I told you things and I asked you not to tell anyone else because this was so personal for me. I didn't want anyone else knowing. You said that you wouldn't, and you went and told other people, and I'm hurt. Okay, so Jill had three options, right? She could just totally defriend David. David would wonder what in the heck, and would sorry for that little cussing right there. Anyway, would say what went on, and anyway, and would wonder what happened to my friendship, or does she know? Is that why she defriended me? Okay. Or she could have ignored it, and then David would know. Anyway, but what Jill did is when David came to her apartment saying, hey, let's go do something, she said, David, I know what you've done. You betrayed my confidence that I asked you to not tell anyone. And I am very, very hurt. And just to let you know, I thought we were really good friends, and I do care about you as a friend. But I'm really, really hurt over this, and we need to fix this. We need to work through this. If we're gonna stay friends, I can't have this behavior going on. And so that's what happened. Jill said that to David, and David was like, it gave David the chance to apologize, to make amends, to change the way he was being, and they became really, really good friends. In fact, Jill introduces David to another one of her friends, because Jill learned to trust David, because David then became trustworthy. Okay, so this whole class was on being a peacemaker, on how sometimes, because Christ asks us to be peacemakers, and the whole class was on being a peacemaker, and how being non-confrontational, or choosing not to say what's really in our heart often isn't the best way to be, because people don't know that we're hurt. People don't know where, there's no fixing things. If we don't let people know what's really going on in our hearts, there's no fixing things. So, the whole point of that class on being a peacemaker was, please, in kind and gentle ways and loving ways, share what's in your heart with people, so that bridges can be mended and broken hearts can be mended, and things can be forgiven. Okay? Sometimes it takes us bringing things up to let things be talked about, and hearing both sides of the story, so that people can be forgiven and hearts can be mended. Anyway, that's the first story that I wanted to tell you. The second story that I wanted to tell you was this. Okay, and this is a story, I think, by Dallin H. Oaks, who's one of our apostles in our church. And I'm just to let you know, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they 100% in no way, shape, or form support what it's not like they don't. Anyway, this is what I'm doing right here is completely independent of my church. Everything that every Catholic or Baptist or whatever does isn't 100% supported by their church. It's their own independent thing. So anyway, this is my own independent thing. So just wanted to tell you that. Okay, so here's my other story from President Oaks. Okay, so President Oaks tells this story of a squirrel and a tree and a dog. Okay, so let me tell you the story. So there's this dog that's watching the squirrel, who's kind of coming down, coming down to the ground, maybe getting something, and then kind of going back up the tree. And as the squirrel comes down, the dog stays still. And then the squirrel goes back up the tree, and the dog goes around the tree, and the dog, gets a little bit closer. And this happens over and over again. And President Oaks, people can see that everyone is just engaged. Everyone in this park is engaged in watching this scenario of the dog keep creeping closer to the squirrel, and the squirrel really not knowing the danger he was in. Okay, so what happens is, I know this is 100% predictable, but what happens is, one time when the squirrel comes down, comes around the tree, the dog, who is now inched closer, right? He nabs him. And then everyone in the park comes and tries to get the squirrel from the dog, but it's too late. Now, I don't know what type of moral, you're probably drawing the same moral to the story that I'm going to tell you, but anyway, I'll just tell it to you. The moral of the story is that everyone in the park, at any time during that process before the squirrel was caught, could have shooed the dog away, could have said no to the dog, could have warned the squirrel, go, shoo, squirrel, and shoo the squirrel away. Everyone knew the potential danger, but no one did. And President Oaks, he basically said, when consequences are severe and immediate, it behooves all of us to send out the warning voice. hey, if you go down that road, that's really gonna be the road to unhappiness. Or hey, that's really dangerous. I love you. Please don't do that, right? Tons of other warnings. Hey, I really love you. Not doing your homework is really gonna affect you later on in life. Let me tell you how. Whatever it is that your family, your friends, the people in your circle are dealing with, when we see them going down a road to unhappiness, a road to danger, can we be the kind of friend that steps up and says, I love you and I'm concerned about you, and can I just sit down and talk to you for just a minute about some of my concerns, right? Let's raise the warning voice when people are going down the path to unhappiness. Okay, so what does all this have to do? What do these two stories have to do with being gentle? To me, both of these stories have very much to do with love. Oh my goodness, so much to do with love. Loving someone to say, you've hurt my feelings. Let's work this through and mend it. Loving someone, well, obviously in the other case, the person didn't love enough, and that's why the squirrel got eaten, right? But anyway, both of these stories have to do with love. And to me, gentleness has a lot to do with love. So, gentleness also has to do with kind words and loving tones and soft voices. And I know I tend to have a louder voice. I tend to be more of a, I don't know, just like, whoa, I'm here. Anyway, so I do tend to have a little bit of a louder voice, but gentleness, it's kindness, it's love, it's letting people know how deeply we love people and ourselves, how deeply we love ourselves. So as I'm thinking about this affirmation, I am learning from my new adventures gently. In my mind, I kind of tweak that. I try to keep the gentleness in it, but I also tweak it. I'm learning through my new adventures gently with love. And then oppositely, I'm going through these new adventures that life is sending me, knowing full-heartedly that God loves me. That even though there might be one thing or even several things that are hard in my life right now, it is not because God doesn't love me. Like, I really 100% believe that God loves me all the time, and that life is happening for me all the time, and that I can take whatever life is sending my way and become stronger and more loving and more Christ-like. If I really try to do that intentionally, I can. And so can you. You can take everything that life is bringing your way with and become more loving, more strong, more Christ-like, more compassionate, more gentle. So that is my shadow on today's theme, this week's theme. I am learning from my adventures gently, just to say, gentle can look like different things. Okay. Anyway, the affirmation for today. That was the affirmation for the week. This is the affirmation for today. I am open to looking at things a new way. I am open to looking at things in new ways. I am open-minded. You are open-minded. There's not just one way of looking at things. I know I just talking about Stephen Covey and his 4 quadrants yesterday, but Stephen Covey had that, one of his principles was seek to understand first and then to be understood. Are we always perfect in that? No. But as we seek to understand where a person is coming from, hopefully they will feel their love from us as we seek to understand our problems, or maybe even as we seek to understand, God, wow, life is really crazy right now. What do you want me to learn from this? As we seek to understand, I know we will be blessed with wisdom. As we seek to understand, I know we will be blessed with wisdom. So, looking at things from different ways. Well, what are some of the ways that you can learn, that we all can learn from things in different ways? One, I think we can journal about them. We can get our ideas on paper, we can get our situations down on paper, and we can start saying to ourselves and asking the questions that, what's really going on here? What am I missing here? Is there another way of looking at it? Do my past experience skewing my view? Okay, so journaling, asking questions, meditating. Meditating, right? Just getting to a quiet place, quieting our mind, getting to where our mind, like, even whether we put on some beach music and we can kind of hear those waves rushing in, or anyway, whatever you do to meditate, putting on some essential oils, some relaxing scent that calms us down and helps us focus. I think that could be a really good time to, after we're kind of like in the Zen moment. I don't even know. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm not like the expert on meditation. But after we're like in that calm, tranquil mind, I feel like we have different ways that come to us of looking at things. Praying, obviously, is like the best one, right? Praying, God, how can I look at it? Like, what's really going on here? How can I look at this differently? And then, to me, one of my favorite ways, too, is just chatting with a friend and say, hey, this is happening in my life right now. Have you ever dealt with something like this? Like, what did you do? Or, can you help me maybe get a different perspective on this? Sometimes when we're the ones going through it, it's really hard to have a amazingly accurate perspective on things that life is happening, that is sending our way. Anyway, I know it's human to sometimes jump to a wrong perspective. To sometimes jump to a perspective where we're not giving people grace or understanding, or really kind of, or sometimes it's human too, just to think that we know the problem, but the problem isn't right here. Like, the problem that we're seeing is like right here, but that isn't the real problem. The problem is somewhere deep underneath. So as we can try to listen, to look at things differently, I feel like we can add a lot more wisdom, and then hopefully the things that we're dealing with in life, we can deal with them in a more gentle way, in a way where we're not taking on the problem too. Like, if it's not our problem, if it's someone else's problem, let's not take that on. Not saying that we shouldn't help, but like, I remember a talk that was given once at a women's conference, and they said, if you can't choose, if you're not the one who has the ability to choose the action, stop feeling guilty over it, right? If you can't choose whether you're, I don't know, whether the world does this, or if the president does that, or if your children do this, or if your spouse does that. If you really can't choose the actions, stop feeling guilty. If you've done everything you can to teach correct principles, stop feeling guilty for other people's choices. Anyway, just there's lots of new ways to look at things. There's lots of new ways. I hope that however we are looking at things, that we always look through the lens and always remember that we are children of God. That I'm a daughter of God, you're a daughter or a son of God, whichever, right? And not his literal children, not his embodied children like Christ was his literal Son of God, right? But we're his spirit children, and he loves us as a dad. May we always remember that about ourselves and with others. You know, that child over there, that boy over there, that girl over there, they're a child of God. Anyway, there's just so many different ways to look at the world, and let's just always remember that sometimes our first way of looking at things isn't the best way. And let's just be open. Let's just be open to looking at things different ways, to giving grace. Okay. So that's the affirmation for today. I am open to looking at things in new ways. The song that we were listening to the whole entire week is "Weave Me the Sunshine." Now, I know it's a lyric from the song. If you're not familiar, okay, it's by Peter, Paul, and Mary. And if you're not familiar with the lyrics, it has this lyric that repeats over and over again. But it's in a cool way, right? Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. Now, I know we all have rain that falls in our life. My best guess is that you've had a rain shower. It is past noon. My best is that you've already had a rain shower or two in your life today. And there's probably been moments of sunshine too, but there's probably been moments of rain. And there's been moments of rain in my life, 100% today. There's been sunshine and there's been rain. And I love the song because it really does remind us that we can weave the sunshine, so something absolutely good, out of the falling rain. And we can also remind us that, or remember, that rain nourishes people. Rain nourishes people. Okay, so you all know that I have 9 children, and I've actually lost 6 children before they were born. And two of the children that I lost were right about 19, 20 weeks. And the second one that we lost in pregnancy, we named Rainy Desiree, or Desiree Rainy. Oh, okay, I know. It's hard for me to remember which, because I love both names, and I think we kind of toss it back and forth. Is it Rainy Desiree or is it Desiree Rainy? Anyway, I named her Desiree Rainy because, okay, I'm going to cry over this, but because rain nourishes things. Rain nourishes things. Yeah, sometimes we don't like the rain. We'd rather have the sunshine. But rain nourishes things. It cools things down. It brings tranquility. Sometimes on a rainy day, we just want to stay home, be with our family. Rain nourishes things. Crying. And I know, that little spirit has this big, I knew she was a nourishing soul. I knew she was a nourishing soul. Okay. And then Desiree, named her Desiree, it means desire in French. And because we so desired to have that little girl join our family. And it wasn't meant to happen. It was meant that we were supposed to just, have her in our life for a little while. And we loved her while we had her. Okay. Hey, thanks for letting me cry on camera. Anyway. Okay, talking about weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. I'm here to tell us that I'm going to bet that the things that we think are the rain in our life may be just exactly what we need to grow stronger, to be more compassionate, learn to be more patient, learn to be more loving, learn to be more gentle, learn to be more virtuous. And I'm just going to guess that some of the rain that falls in our life, we're going to look back on it and thank God for sending
or for allowing it to happen. I don't think he sends all the rain. Well, like he probably sends rain from heaven, but like I don't think he sends all like the bad things to happen to us in our life. But I think he knows how to turn every bad thing that happens in our life to our good. And I think we're gonna thank him. Thank you for allowing this trial in my life, because I did become stronger. Okay, so that's the song that we're singing for the entire week. Weave Me the Sunshine by Peter, Paul, and Mary. The diffuser blend that we're diffusing this week is 2 drops of Douglas fir, which is the oil of generational wisdom. And hold on, I don't think I said that 100% right. Just a minute. Douglas fir. Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm looking, just to let you know, I looked it up in Essentials Emotions, which was one of my favorite books. Anyway, and okay, so 2 drops of Douglas fir, which is the oil of generational wisdom, and 2 drops of Melissa, which is the oil of light. Yesterday we talked about the emotional benefits of Melissa. Today we are going to be talking about the physical benefits of Melissa, and they are huge, 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 huge. So, oh my gracious, I'm going to need a Kleenex. Caleb, is there a Kleenex or some tissue over there anywhere? Thank you so much. Okay. Hold on. Anyway. Okay, so Melissa, it's a flower, and it grows in North Africa and in the Mediterranean. And I told you a lot more about the backstory of Melissa. Look at the post that I did yesterday if you want to learn more about the backstory of Melissa. But let me just tell you some of the physical ways to use it. Okay, so, I wanted to tell you this first. And that it really is one of the lowest yielding oils, which means that it takes takes a ton of plant material to make a 5 ml bottle. And I know I have my Melissa somewhere here. Anyway, who knows? But it takes like 22 pounds of the flowers to make a 5 ml bottle of Melissa. Caleb, can you just see if I forgot to pull that, or if it's on the desk? Okay. So, when taken internally, Melissa helps to support healthy immune response. Okay, I am diffusing it right now in my diffuser. It's super, super calming. It smells really, really good. And but I love that it boosts my immunity too. I want my family's immunity to be strong, and I love that it helps to boost our immunity. It also provides antioxidant support, like frankincense. Thank you for looking. Like frankincense, Melissa is supportive of cellular health. The citral content in particular supports healthy cellular function in the nervous system when taken internally. So you can take a drop of Melissa oil underneath your tongue every morning to promote healthy cellular function, support cognitive health, and soothe the nervous system. I love Melissa. It's one of those oils that I got, and it is a precious oil, which means that it can be more expensive. And so when I first got it, I didn't want to use it, but I have now opened the bottle, and I'm so thankful. A lot of people just love not even using a full drop. Just throw me any other bottle, please. So just give me one that has a supplement box on it. Anyway, whoa. Okay, so what they do with the bottle is they'll just throw me one that doesn't have this top, please. So okay, so this is not a top that doTERRA sells. Whoa. Okay. He's a good throw. Anyway. So this is usually how the doTERRA bottle comes. With this top. I love this top for oils that I usually put in my water. So like my lemon, grapefruit, lime, the oils like that, I will put a top like this just so I can drop it out. I just think it's a little bit more convenient. But the oregano oil, basically what they would do is this is not a good oil to do this with, but basically you're not even going to get a whole drop of oil. You're just going to go like this, and then you're going to put it on the roof of your mouth. Now, I'm not going to put oregano oil on the roof of my mouth because it would be amazingly hot. Amazingly hot. So I am not going to do that. But if it was Melissa, I 100% would. So you can either just put a drop of Melissa underneath your tongue every day and see what that changes in you. It's called the Melissa Challenge because people are loving it on just how calm they're feeling, and for the boost in immunity. Anyway, okay, it can calm you when you're on high alert, so you can rest and digest better. When we're all stressed out, like we have trouble sleeping or trouble staying asleep, or we don't feel like we're getting a good enough rest, a good enough night's sleep. And so Melissa can help with that. And also, when your body is all upset, you can't digest as well. So it's great for supporting the rest and digest, the parasympathetic nervous system. It's great for cognition and memory. You can use it internally or topically to reduce swelling and pain. Now, I have my Melissa somewhere, but we're just not seeing it. So if this was a bottle of Melissa, I would say to look at the supplements facts on it so that you can see, yes, you can take it internally, and it will say for internal use. Now, the supplement facts are exactly like the supplement facts on your cereal box. And they tell you that, yeah, you can use this essential oil internally, and eternally too. Like, you can use it forever. But the only essential oil company that I would ever recommend using it internally is doTERRA Essential Oils, and this is why. Because they third-party test every single batch. They have a batch number on the bottom of every bottle. You can go to a site called Source to Me. You can see all of the different tests that have been run on your batch of oils and all of the results. So super, super good. Just an absolutely pure and 100% trustable company. So I'm loving that. So yes, Melissa is one that you can definitely take internally. If you want to go to one of my favorite sites and look at the studies on using Melissa to help keep your blood sugar in better balance. Two of my favorite sites to look for studies, look at studies on, are PubMed. So just type in PubMed Melissa and blood sugar, or you can go to a site called aromaticscience.com. That's actually my favorite site because you can basically just click on any oil and see all the different studies from around the world, or many, I probably shouldn't say all, but many studies from around the world on that oil. Or you can like use the search bar and put in what your issue is. Like I could just put blood sugar in the issue, and then I could see studies from around the world on different essential oils that can be beneficial to healthy blood sugar. Okay, it is very antiseptic, and so it's very good to put on cuts or scrapes, abrasions, just to make sure that things don't get infected. It is beautiful. So it's a flower oil, and flower oils are well known for how they help clarify our complexion. So your rose, your lavender, and definitely your Melissa oil can help clear your complexion and also tackle like those stubborn skin issues. Okay, Melissa. So if you're using it to boost mood, go ahead, put it on your wrists, put it on the backs of your ears, your neck, and on your heart area. It is good for that time of the month, and it can help with cramps, and it can help with PMS syndrome. with times when you just have like a dizzy feeling, and so it can help with that. And you can put for that, you can put 1 to 2 drops on the back of your neck and on the back of your ears, or you can put 1 to 2 drops in water and then just drink that. So it's when I was first introduced to doTERRA, I had different favorites. Like I hopped onto lavender first, but I have fallen in love with Melissa. All the emotional benefits of Melissa, all the physical benefits of Melissa. So if you can, I would say you're worth getting it. You are worth getting it. Okay, so just reminding you that we're diffusing two drops of Douglas Fir, the oil of generational wisdom, 2 drops of Melissa, the oil of light. And the song for the day is Weave Me the Sunshine by Peter, Paul, and Mary. And the affirmation for today is, I am open to looking at things in a new way. And the affirmation for the entire week is, I am learning from my new adventures gently. Okay, this is Suzanne Williams. Oh my gracious. I just found my Melissa. That is called funny. Anyway, so this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Whole